How is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. Today's episode is going to be a little different, but I did want to go over some of this stuff, and maybe I'll create a tech playlist or something. I do get a lot of questions about filming equipment, what kind of software I'm using, and all kinds of that stuff. So I wanted to go over just maybe a behind-the-scenes, start to finish editing an episode and what it looks like for me and how I do it. And we'll start with going over everything I use, and I'll put some links, some Amazon links on there. Amazon actually does a cool thing. They give us kickbacks if we put a link on there and you guys buy a ton of them, or whatever the product is. So I'll put some links in there. Helps me, helps you guys. Hopefully you can get some quality gear. I'll show you what's been working for me over the years. And like I said, I want to go start to finish, show you my system of editing an episode, all the way from sorting the footage all the way down to exporting it, titling it, and doing some of the back end work on YouTube. So first things first, we will start with my filming equipment. Right now I'm filming on a GoPro 12. I recently switched over to the DJI Action 4s. I did some reviews on those. I absolutely love those cameras. So if you watch the channel, I do, a lot of underwater footage. So I switched my underwater cameras to the Action 4s. They make a world of a difference for me. I think the quality is a heck of a lot better. I'm still gonna do my topside footage with the GoPro 12. One reason, I already have the camera, so I might as well use it. And the second reason being, when I go to sort footage in here and put them in order, they're different file names because the GoPro and the DJI create different file names. So I'm still gonna use the GoPro 12 just for the topside stuff. But this is my kind of briefcase, if you will. Just keep these are my two dive cameras, extra batteries and some lenses, and extra batteries on this side. This is my old setup. This is actually the 11, but this is what the 12 is on that you're watching through. I use these little clamps. They are amazing for doing the outdoor stuff that we do, because you can clip this onto anything and move it all around. These are awesome. I'll put a link for this mount in the description. I actually add little wind resistors or wind blockage or whatever you want to call it on my cameras. I use double-sided 3M tape, and then I order the little wind things on Amazon, and I just cut them to size and I stick them over the microphones. They do have built-in wind resistors or whatever, but they're not that great, and this helps a bunch. So this is my on-land hand camera, and these are my two dive cameras, and that's how I keep everything nice and organized and dry and out of the elements. And I think that's it. Let's dive into editing. Oh, so one last thing I did want to mention is the headphones that I'm wearing. I recently picked these up. They're fantastic. They're noise canceling. They're by Sony. I use them a lot for traveling, but I also use them for editing. If you've ever met my fiance, she can be quite a distraction. So I like to have these on. I can't hear what's going on in the house. We've got animals and all kinds of stuff. The truck's going down the street. So if I'm editing, I'm always wearing these. Just helps me stay focused, get the job done, and the sound is great in them, so I can hear what my clips actually sound like. But let's get this fired up. All right, so maybe I may do this as a screen record, or I may do it actually on this screen so you can see what's going on. I guess I'll just see what looks better as I'm editing this video. But I do all of my editing on a Mac Mini. It's one I think it's a 2023. I just got it recently. One of the newer ones. And everything I do is on iMovie. We're low budget here. So I get iMovie up and running. First things first, though, where I really start with my editing and sorting and everything, I import all my footage from both cameras. I create a folder. This current episode that I'm editing is Commercial Grouper. I don't have a title yet. Once I have a title, I'll label that folder the title, just so it's easier to find, especially once I back these up on my hard drives. But first thing I do is get all of my footage in here, and I go in order and label them by numbers. That way when I run them into iMovie, the story is already in order. I just have to cut a little bit and shorten some clips, and do some transitions and whatnot. So for example, obviously number 1 is my opener. Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. So I go through, label that one, and I go all the way down to the last video. So once I have those all in order, into iMovie, all this stuff's pretty straightforward, especially if you do this regularly. So I take all of my clips, Give them just a couple minutes to upload. Oh, and something else I wanted to mention. I forgot to. These are the memory cards I use. I use everything SanDisk, Extreme 128 gig. Probably overkill depending on how much filming you do. I like to have the big cards just in case I'm on a trip or I'm somewhere where I can't dump my footage. I have plenty of space for them. So that is the card that I use. Again, I'll put a link in the description for that as well. And I'll be honest, I am not thrilled with the new Mac. I bought the upgraded, I don't remember what it was called. I paid extra for the Mac Mini Pro. It was supposed to be way faster for I have a big fancy camera that shoots huge files and it's still pretty slow. I'll say this, I had 2020 Mac Mini and this is the 2023 and I don't notice a difference in speed. But anyways, I digress. So once I get to this point, I start at the beginning, and I'm not going to show you all this. Very simple. Leaving the audio on just so you can hear it, but
how is it going, boys
so
and girls? Welcome back.
I start to go like this and just trim, drag on this side over here.
Boys and girls, welcome back. How is it going, boys and girls? How is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West. Hopefully see some stuff. I'll see you there.
So that's about the gist of
See you
it.
there.
And I cut to the next one, and I continue on all the way down. I do all of these and just cut and trim them. So I'm going to do that. That part is super boring. But once we get done with that, I'll show you what's next. All right, so I'm done with all my sorting. Essentially just, not sorting, trimming. I trim all the clips to the lengths I want them, and I just cut out all the stuff that I don't want in there, because obviously the clips are going to have beginnings and ends and rough transitions and whatnot. So I just go through, get them all. This is a rough draft because I still have to do my audio. But I've got it pretty much where I want it. And if you watch my channel, you know that my diving videos, I do audio over a lot of the diving clips. I don't have to do this on the fishing videos, but the diving videos are a little more time consuming because I have to do the voiceovers. So this is actually the mic that I use. I think it's blue. Yeah, blue. I think it's a Yeti Nano, if I remember correctly. Again, I'll put a link in the description if you want to get one. I've had this for about, I think 2 years now. And I haven't had any issues with it. I love how it sounds. Cheap. In my opinion, it's affordable and but good quality. So pretty much all I do here, I get to the top of my episode. I've got audio coming through the headphones. Whoop. They have touch. They're receptive to touch. I just turned something on. Audio comes through here, but my voice is recorded through here. And we get to going. Welcome back underwater, everybody. Do appreciate you tuning in, and as always, we're going to go over some of these dives. So just a couple of stats for you. I like to keep YouTube land real, like I always talk about. These videos, it looks like we're just diving every single time and shooting a fish every single time, but throughout this video, we're probably only going to show you, and these numbers are roundabout, maybe 4 or 5 spots. Throughout the day, we hit a total of about 8 or 9. There were quite a few spots where we went and we did not shoot anything, so I'm not even going to show you those clips. And I did a total of 37 dives. I think Cody did probably close to the same, so say roundabout 80 dives. I think we only had 11 fish, so what's that, a fish every 7 or 8 dives? So just like to keep it real. I know it looks like we're shooting fish every single drop, but that's just not the way that it is. Alrighty, so I have done all of my audio. Now what's next is the most boring part of the day. So I switched from my headphones just because the headphone audio is so different than what it will sound like live from a speaker or from a phone or from TV. So I switched back to my little speaker here. And now what I do is I watch this video back.
How is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Waterman.
Volume all the way up, and I want to make sure my audio levels are right. So I'll go through and, well, not all the way up, but I'll check if my top side,
That's what I want.
like it nice and busy. So if you want to see some more of that, is matching my underwater narrative. So essentially, and I'm not going to show you this. This video is 34 minutes long. Excuse me. I'm going to start at the beginning.
How is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Water.
And I'm going to review this whole thing and make sure it's right. And then we'll get to the uploading and YouTube side of things and export settings and all that. I'll show you the rest of this. My name is Aaron Young. Got my good friend Cody with me. Today we are... You got your pants on, bro? There we go. I will see you guys on the next one. Later. All right. So audio is good. One other thing I do to double check the audio, once I export this and it's rendered and uploaded on YouTube, I actually watch it on my big screen before I go live with it, just to make sure everything's right. So now I go up here, I'm exporting my file. I do everything 4K, quality high, compression, better quality, not faster. So there's a couple options there. Those are the only ones I mess with. Resolution 4K, quality high. If you go to best ProRes, the file size is like unbelievable and I haven't noticed a difference with it. And then compress, I do better quality, not faster. So next, I'm gonna do commercial grouper. And that should take, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. And while we're waiting on that, I'm gonna get started on the thumbnail. So I will show you that. All right, so time for the thumbnail. In my opinion, oh, that was last week's. In my opinion, the thumbnail is everything when it comes to YouTube videos. And with that being said, I'm not thrilled with this one. This is the one that I have. It's just, I don't know, it's sloppy compared to what I normally like to get. But we're going to try and make it come to life. So I do all my thumbnail editing in Lightroom. I don't really do any actual Photoshop as far as like adding or taking away things, like adding fire or making the, I don't know, just like making things unrealistic. I just do some touch up as far as colors, just to make everything pop. But, and I'm not an expert at this, but this, just like the fact that it's dark here, it's dark up here, the fish are a little, I don't want to say washed out. They just look funky, but I'm done complaining. We're gonna try and make this look as best that we can. So I'm gonna, in most of my thumbnails I do touch up, yes. Actually, let's do this a different way. Because your thumbnail is your first impression. It's the first thing people see. It's what makes them want to click on the video or not. So you just want something that grabs their attention. And I just like the the pictures to be clear, to the point. There we go. That's the gist of it. So I want to bring the color up just a little on those guys. Let's say that was the original, just a little brighter. Contrast. And then there's no actual recipe to this, I'll be honest. Depending on the type of photo, I just tinker with the settings a little bit. Most often I'm doing exposure contrast. If it's water, I'm going to mess with the temp and tint a little bit. And it's rare, I'll do saturation because I think everyone tends to oversaturate everything to get that dramatic look. Yeah, I'll leave that alone. Texture. Could make them a little more crispy looking, a little more clear. I almost want to bring, and I'll do this also, but I'm not going to show you all of it. I'm going to bring the exposure on the backdrop down, the whites. I'm trying to bring them down closer to the shaded areas. So the fish are the focal point here. So this process is going to take a little bit. I'll show you my final product when I'm done. All right, so this is a terrible example because this is an awful photo. This is one of the worst thumbnails I've ever taken, just as far as like colors and whatnot and the angle and the shadows. Anyways, so this, and I'm sure there's a ton of Photoshop Lightroom pros out there. I know you guys are going to eat me alive. This is like kind of a preference. It's like food or like fashion. It's all opinion. It's like what you think looks good. So this is what I have it on now. That's the original photo. So I want the groupers just to stand out a little more. You can see there's a lot of shade here, a lot of dark. You can't really see the edges of them on some of the fish. So this is before and this is after. And I just think it looks a little better. The fish are a little brighter. They pop. I tried to bring this a little down without making it look too dark and dingy. But again, that's an awful example. Let me show you a better one. Oop, that's my ugly face. Here's a good one. I'll show you this one. So this is what we do in thumbnails. And again, we're not trying to, you don't want to lie. Like, you don't want it to be over the top clickbait, but you just want to make the colors pop a little. So this is Madeline once I fixed it. This was before. So you can see it's just much more aesthetically pleasing when you look at it. It looks more inviting is all. So that's how I do my thumbnails. And I'm just going to have to live with that one because I didn't take a good photo. Again, before, after. And I can live with it. So I export 2 versions of it, small and large. YouTube takes a certain size. So once this video is done rendering, once this is done rendering, we're going to get it on actual YouTube, and I'll show you all of the back end work. Our video is ready. Pretty straightforward. Upload. And I normally will come up with the title later. I have to watch it again and get that figured out. But title, description is pre-populated. Narrated spearfishing, commercial spearfishing. That is it. I guess it's that one. Thumbnail. Now monetization. I'll go back into this later. This is actually something I do that some of you may find interesting. I'll explain more later. And then this is my ad suitability. Essentially, if you've got a video where you're cursing a lot or doing something inappropriate or talking about sensitive topics, they want you to be honest about what's in the content, whether or not you can put ads in it. So I do the lowest level on some of these, like inappropriate language. Sometimes we'll throw, I don't know, some words someone may be offended by in there. No violence, shocking content. I don't think it's shocking, but some people may find harvesting fish or, you know, killing fish to eat sensitive or shocking. And controversial issues. It just kind of depends. For the most part, those are the 3 I check, but I don't go to like these higher levels, just the lower ones. And then submit rating, video elements. This is all basic stuff. And then, so this particular video will be up next Monday. Today's the 24th. So next Monday I will schedule it for 6 p.m. And that video is not done yet. And we are almost done. Alright, so the video is up and it's processed. So I'll come up with a title, and I may change this. We'll do commercial spearfishing, free diving, grouper, profit, breakdown. So maybe we'll try that. I'll probably change that 30 times between now and when it comes out. So I just got to do a couple more things. This is one thing that I do that some of you may find interesting. And I'm not looking for praise. I just think it's funny. Because I'll get comments that are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how many ads are in there. I can't watch this, blah, 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 whatever. So actually, YouTube actually lets us pick how many ads we want, where we want them. So this is YouTube's recommended ads. So each one of these dots is an ad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Typically, I remove over half of them. Kind of depends how long the video is, where they're placed. Like they have an ad at 1 minute in, which, I don't know, that kind of drives me crazy. So I'm going to delete the first 2, and then try and make this even. I'll delete that one as well. So take 3 of them out, I'll leave 4. And it kind of, you do have some freedom over here on what kind of ads you want. I don't really mess with that. I don't even know what all that means. I just take a few out, save, and we have one more step. And I'll show you that in the living room. All right. So one last thing I like to do, I'm not going to show you this whole thing, I'm just being thorough. Get the screen open. Go to YouTube. Right here, history. So I like to come up on the big screen and see what the thumbnail looks like on the big screen. Make sure the colors are right and all that stuff. Looking at this, profit breakdown's not going to show up, so I'm going to have to shorten that. I'll take one of these words out so I can have the whole title visible in there. But as far as that looks, thumbnail looks good to me. And the very last thing I do, my name is Aaron Young. Got my good friend Cody with me. Today we are, you got your pants on, bro? So very last thing is I actually watch the video in here, start to finish, make sure everything's right, and mainly make sure the audio's right, because I get a lot of complaints about sound, but I watch it in 2 or 3 different places. Normally I'll do the computer, normally I'll even do my phone, and then I do it on the TV just to make sure the audio's right. But that is it. That's start to finish, editing a video. I think I covered everything. Again, all that stuff I use, the SD cards and the mic and all that, I'll put links for all that in the description. If you do use those links to buy those things, if you're interested in them, I do get a small incentive for it, but it does help support the channel. But anyways, that's all I have. Any questions, I will do my best to get to them. The comments are getting hard to keep up with, but genuinely can't thank y'all enough for watching. Can't thank you enough for the support. And I will see you on the next one. Later.